one of the number one things happening in the country to date has to be WikiLeaks' most recent release of a trove of documents, a massive leak that they are considering, they're saying is larger than what was leaked with Edward Snowden. And the significance of these leaks rivals in many ways what Snowden released. And it's entitled Vault7. It's according to CBS News, it's the largest publication of confidential documents about the CIA. There are over 8,761 documents from the CIA's Center for Cyber Intelligence. It reveals, it's a lot. And you can't really overstate what it has revealed. We're going to be digging through it probably for years, to be honest with you. It's such a massive dump. And there, of course, all of it, it's, with WikiLeaks, they're not going to dump it all at once. But part one has been released. It gives information on how the U.S. government, particularly the CIA, is able to access your smart devices, your iPhones, your iPads, your smart TVs, your computers. They're able to access them and to turn your device into a monitoring device. In other words, they can access your microphone or your iPhone or your iPad, your camera on your iPhone or your iPad, and use it to reveal your location or to capture conversation. The release, or WikiLeaks, claims that the CIA used products, including, everything. Just think about how ubiquitous these products are in our lives. Think about how many iDevices you have, just iPhone alone. In my house alone, 1, 2, 3 iPhones, 2 iPads. That's enough. That pretty much covers my entire house. So it also reveals the type of exchanges and tools of information amongst the used for this type of malware, this type of operation, the communications between the CIA, NSA, and other intelligence agencies. We'll delve into the implications of it momentarily, but let's just get a little bit more background. There actually was a great summary that was provided by I think it's an Australian news source that actually broke this apart pretty brilliantly. I'm trying to get the right name. So the Australian Broadcasting Company, it's abc.net.au. There's a pretty good breakdown that they have there. Of some of the specific programs they had. They, of course, with anything else, they have naming conventions that are unique. One of the first ones was fine dining, and what it is a tool that the CIA uses, which allows users to insert a USB stick, and that stick downloads information from Windows computers, while giving the appearance of doing something else, like running a virus scan. So in other words, it's able to circumvent your virus scan or your virus protection, because it gives the appearance that it's actually a part of your virus protection system. There's another tool called Weeping Angel. I please forgive me, but I can't help but somebody who watches Doctor Who actually probably coded this. Anyway, Weeping Angels, you should get the reference if you anyway. So this puts some Samsung smart TVs into a, quote, fake off mode. It dimmed the LED lights and covertly recorded audio from the TV. Now, this required this was not something that was according to the report, that was able to be done remotely as with the other devices, but in this device it suggested that an operative had to have physical access to the TV set into this in order to set the malware. But think about that. And we're going to discuss the implications, because underneath the auspices of the CIA is not authorized to operate within the United States. Most of these tools are weaponized to be used outside of the United States. But I'm trying to think of the quote. It's a general statement, but I think someone quoted it very succinctly, and it discusses the reality that empire abroad corrupts security or liberty at home. So these tools, while they are developed to be used on our enemies, quote unquote enemies abroad, probably some allies as well, you cannot help but to acknowledge the ease with which they would be able, with their communications with the NSA and other intelligence agencies. I'm sure the FBI is involved. With the communication between them, the ease with which they could easily weaponize that for domestic surveillance, and America's history of draconian domestic surveillance. So it's not really it doesn't make me feel better to think that this is something that they would just use. They're using this for our enemies abroad, when they have a history of, and clearly the capacity to do this domestically. Apple software, and I believe because of the ubiquitousness of Apple, they were a very big target. The CIA could secretly activate the microphones, the cameras, steal text messages, reveal locations with the GPS. Operators could try to remotely break into phones and using an exploit called Eve through the internet browser. So with these devices, they did not have to have an operative physically gain access to your device. They simply could hack you via Safari. Even if you were using quote unquote encrypted messaging apps, they still had access to those software, those apps. I believe WhatsApp, they had access to really anything that existed on the phone, even if you thought it was encrypted, because they had access to the phone, they were able to log into phones as though they were a regular user and have full access to the phones. And this is the scale with which the CIA is able to monitor our enemies and subsequently us. So this is just day one. This is just day one of Vault7, and I'm sure there's going to be innumerable days of, leaks of just the drip by drip, revealing what the CIA has been up to. Now, implications. So, and actually, let's separate this conversation here.